Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at the last episode of Kubikiri Cycle, which is episode 8, and I'll also be reviewing the whole show today as well. Now, first and foremost, what the hell? Just what the hell? That whole episode was so, like, my god, just freaking way too long for its own good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Kubikiri Cycle because the light novel series has, at least the first two that I've been able to read, has always been this kind of very, I want to say, mind-altering type of mystery novel. It's not your typical, oh, here's the mystery story, there's the conclusion. No, there's always something more to it than you actually see, which has always been a cool thing. I've loved that about the series. But I will say that this last episode was 42 minutes long, and about, I want to say 28 minutes or so, 29 minutes, were focused solely on introducing the one girl that we meet in the end of the first light novel series, who's a detective named Jun Arakawa. And she's a psycho. Like, legit, she's 100% a psychopath. But, you know, she basically tells Ichan the whole thing that he's been kind of thinking about this whole mystery. He got part of it right, yes. Obviously, he got the person who murdered, our famous artist, Ibuki, I think her name is. He got that part right, because it was Akane. However, what he did not realize, and it was kind of, I want to say perceived in the first part of this episode, where you had the maid and the person who owns the island apparently having had switched places since the beginning of the series, or more so show. You know, they had switched places, and he finally caught it. He's like, you know, I noticed something weird that, you know, you sit down and then she stands up, even though, you know, she's supposed to be the owner and you're the maid, you're sitting down, which is weird. So yes, I got that. You know, that was cool. That was an interesting thing. But it was almost a way, a kind of allude to where we see, oh, apparently Akane wasn't Akane. She was actually Ibuki, and Ibuki was Akane, and they had been switched this whole time, and, you know, no one noticed because there were little slight changes and altercations with how they moved around and what they did. Like the painting had a mistake in it, which was Ichan's wristwatch was on his wrong hand, and in the painting at least. You know, cool, but God, you know, was that necessary for that long? It was so funny though to watch. Like they're driving through these weird locations that are borderline supposed to be symbolic to what's happening in his mind, and then also at the same time, this just, you almost wonder if they really are doing this shit. Like, are they actually driving through buildings, breaking through windows, and then jumping on top of ships and stuff like that? And at one point, she's racing in a giant race, and then you see them not really doing that, but apparently they really are doing that. And then they go to Tomo's apartment, which apparently is near a freaking volcano, which is also not really near a volcano. I'm like, what the hell? I'm so lost. Stop doing this. Like, it's just weird. It's a weird episode, and it was a good fitting conclusion, mind you, but it was just like, come on, really? I remember this in the light novel series where I didn't really particularly care for the whole switcheroo type thing. I mean, I understood what they were trying to go for, but at the same time, it almost felt like, oh, hey, you didn't notice it either. Haha, good for you. It's like, yeah, but could you really have noticed it? Because here's the thing. You don't know these characters before they were introduced. So, as much as you might be one of those people that loves to solve mysteries, this is one mystery that almost comes off as impossible in many ways, because of the fact that unless you actually know the characters when they first were introduced, and I mean before even the show, which they weren't obviously, you wouldn't know that they switched places with each other. You wouldn't know that they did that because of boredom, apparently. That's all kind of speculation that at the end it's just like, oh, hey, did you realize it? You know, you can't realize it. So I still feel like that's kind of a slap to the face of the reader, or even in this case the viewer, because it's like almost making fun of you, because Jun makes fun of Ichan for the fact that he didn't realize that he's like an amateur detective, which Ichan tells you in the very beginning, and I kind of feel bad for him. He's not trying to be a detective. He more so got into this situation because he was there. So he saw things just as what he could do. That's how he did everything. It's not like he wanted to do that, though. I don't know. So I didn't like that conclusion too much, but it's not a big deal. It really hasn't just, you know, kind of tasted my, changed my taste of the show. I still love this show, and I think that most of you will love it too. But I will say, though, it does kill the grade a little bit, just a little bit. Anyways, though, what did I think about Kubikiri Cycle? First and foremost, the story is incredible. It's just as good as the light novel series, if not better, because we get to see it in animated form. I wish, like I said before, that these episodes would have came out more scheduledly. Like, I would have liked it having been every week, but instead it was every month, sometimes skipping 2 to 3 months. that was an issue for me. I really do think that kind of detracted from the series overall, and I know a lot of people might have issues with it. But now that it's all out, you can try keyword binge watching it. It's not going to be the easiest binge watch in the world. I would suggest taking breaks watching it. Watch the first episode, maybe take a couple days, watch the next one, or even do it by day basis, because they're long episodes. They're almost 30 minutes. The last episode being 42. It's it's a long type of show, but. The story was great. I like the story. I don't like the conclusion of it, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't actually. It's one of those conclusions that doesn't really, feel like it's going to destroy the story. It just more so feels unnecessary and almost tacked on at the end. Animation. Shaft does amazing animation. That was seen right here with this. Kubikiri Cycle looks incredible. There are times some of the characters look a little like kind of cheaply made, especially when they're further away. It looks like almost they're caricatures of themselves, but it's not a big deal with that. Voice acting, music, all of that was on par with what I expected. It was really well done. I love the ending song. When they had the opening song, it was not bad either, so that worked out well. And my overall enjoyment of the show was very good. I really did enjoy it. I think it was a good show. That's why if I had to rate Kubikiri Cycle between A through F, I will give it a B-. I'm probably going to put it on a 7 on Mal, because to me it's like basically the precipice of being a C+, but you know how Mal's system is. To me, I've always been like, I wish they really had like a number system on Mal. I mean, you see that with the aggregate scores of everyone reviewing that it's like a 7.89 or something like right now, and that's kind of where I would be, like 7.9, maybe 7.95 is where I would be with the show, because I don't want to give it a B- on Mal. Like on Mal, that to me almost seems like an 8. And I don't think that's deserving of an 8. I'm sorry. There are a lot of issues with this show when it comes to just how it paces out because of that. It's not because of the way the show is done, mind you. It's just that because it has this huge break in between, and even how long the episodes are, it does kill the kind of pacing of just how you enjoy the show is the best way I could put it. So I do have issues with that, but I would definitely recommend it to the people who like intelligent shows and love mystery novels and stuff like that. You'll probably like this too as well. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. As always, if you like my review, you know what to do. Hit the buttons that you need to hit. As always, I will talk to you until our paths cross again in the next review. Did not say it correctly, but whatever, we're ending on that anyways. I will see you guys later. God bless you all. Bye-bye, everyone.